America's pastime is, was, and always will be shooting.
Hi everyone, Finn and Flask here. So today we're going to be talking about flint installation and maintenance. So in general, I'm going to show you how to mount a flint into the cock and how it relates to the frizzen. Before we go in the shop, you should be aware that there are two types of flints available on the market. You have your English flints, which are dark gray, black, however you want to look at it. And then you have your French flints, which are amber. I've mostly used English flints. The last time I put an order in, I had to get amber flints because there were no more English flints around. And generally speaking, I've shot only a little bit with the amber flints. And I think that they're a little softer and they break a little easier, but they still spark very good. But it was all I could get. So just remember, two types of flints, English flints and French flints. Before we get into the meat of the video, if you wish to support the channel, you should check out my eBay store where I sell muzzleloading accessories. It'll be linked in the description. Okay, so let's talk about installing the flint, okay? I have it in the half cock position right now, okay? But I'm gonna open it up. And show you. So generally speaking, people either use leather or lead for mounting their flint, because you really can't just get away with putting a piece of lead in here because it doesn't grip it good enough. So I use lead a lot, but some people don't like lead. The reason behind people not liking lead, from what I can observe, is there's a shelf life on a piece of lead, because you end up smashing it so much and it just kind of thins out over time. But lead is good and leather is really good. Sometimes you actually have to cut a little hole in the back of it so that it'll fit in the jaw. So you can put it in like this and then put your flint in there, okay? Like that. Or use a piece of leather. Put a piece of leather in there. I'm going to use a leather for this to show you a good way how to mount this. Okay, so you put it in here and you put it to half cock position. You generally want it in and around, almost touching the face of the frizzen. This flint is just a little small now because I've napped it a few times. So I'm going to put a different piece of flint in here. I ended up just going and drilling a little hole in the back of this because I'm in my shop, but it doesn't really matter. See, that gets it to seat up against the cock screw a little tighter, so you get a little shorter distance. All right, I'm gonna take out a really beat flint, pop a really beat flint in there. We'll see if we can nap it back to the point of firing. But this one, I decided was pretty much spent. Okay, I got my frizzen pretty much closed. Sometimes you might want to put them upside down, because naturally you think of it going this way. It's all about how long of a strike you can get, because you want as long of a strike as possible. So I'm smashing this in there pretty good. When installing the flint, you want to also make sure that the flint doesn't go further than the face of the frizzen, because if it comes down, it will strike the barrel and cut the barrel. Now I'm going to try to nap this and get it better. So I'm using a napping hammer. I put my finger underneath it. Here's an up close look at a napping hammer. Tighten it up a little bit. I'm hitting it on a little bit of an angle. Putting your finger underneath there helps prevent it from getting too big of a chip. When flints are new, they look pretty much like this. And after you nap them for a while, they start getting beaten down and chipped away from the underside. Sometimes a napping hammer is a little too much tool because it's really not easy to control it very well because it can get bigger chips and you can get like a U shape. See how this has kind of got like a little bit of a U shape? And if you want to bring it back into a nice straight line so you get a nice even spark going down the face of the frizzen, you might want to make a little tool. Now I'm going to show you how to make this tool right now. It's very, very simple and you should have one. So what you want to do is get a nice piece of brass. I got this little piece of scrap brass that's been nickeled or something. Cut it into a usable length, and then you want to cut a little chip in it with a nice flat shelf. See, now you can get the short piece of brass, start filing it flat. You want a nice sharp lip. So you gotta mess with it. A nice sharp lip. If you want, you can even take a hacksaw and cut a little line like this. Down a little ways so you get a nice sharp flat step. And you got a really nice sharp flat step. Now I'm going to show you how to use that little tool I just made. I'm going to put this in here because sometimes the flints can be a little out of whack and not straight, and that's a good tool to have when they're not straight. So I'm going to set this in here, and we're going to use that tool. Now you can see this flint has been beat up a little bit. This one I've been using, and you can see it's not exactly straight. Okay, and what you want to do is straighten that. It's kind of hard to see, but what you can do is real fine tuning. So now, to square that up, I have that nice sharp edge. I can just put it right here, and then just give it a little tap. Let's see how it sparks. Much better. So to conclude, generally speaking, when it comes to flint napping, you want to take it easy and don't chip too hard because you can really crack it. But when it comes to mounting the flint, you have to think about how much of a strike you get on the frizzen You don't want to be too far away from the frisson. You want to be even across the face of it. You don't want to be too close to the barrel. Those are the main things that you have to look out for. So thank you very much for watching. I'd like it very much if you would subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.